Welcome. This is Basic Spreadsheets using Microsoft Excel. Today we will discuss how to use the data in your spreadsheet to create customized charts and graphs. Sit back and relax, but feel free to take some notes as we go through this tutorial. And of course, feel free to review any parts that you may have missed or not understood. Today we will start with a spreadsheet that already has information in it. You'll notice there is a column for first name, last name, height, weight, 40-meter dash, and a strength rating of 1 being low and 10 being high. To create a chart, go up to Insert, select Chart. You can select the type of chart that you would like to insert into your spreadsheet. On this side, you can select the type of columns that you would want. As you select different types, your selections on the right side will vary. If we want to preview, we can hold down the button here, and we'll see what our chart will look like. We'll click Next. Step 2 allows us to see what information will be included in our chart. Anything surrounded in the highlighted box will be included in our chart. Right now all information is there. We'll click Next. There are several tabs across the top of our screen in Step 3. We will start with the Title tab. We'll insert a title. Our axes, we'll leave them the same. Grid lines is currently showing the major grid lines. We can also choose to show minor grid lines on both the X and Y axis, which makes it a little too busy. We'll just keep the major grid lines on the Y axis. The legend will appear on the right side of the screen, right here. We can move that to any place we might want. Under data labels, there's series name, which includes information from your spreadsheet from each of the columns. There's category name, which includes information from your spreadsheet from each of the rows. Under value, it adds information from each cell onto your spreadsheet. If we click this one, you can look real close and see that numbers are included from the spreadsheet itself. When you have your spreadsheet exactly the way you want it with all of the features, click Next. You can have your spreadsheet as a new sheet or as an object in this sheet. We'll have this spreadsheet or this graph as an object in this sheet, and we'll hit Finish. We'll increase the size of this chart so we can see more of the information. You will notice that this chart is really busy. There are 4 bars for each person, and it's very hard to tell information and what exactly each piece stands for. So let's delete this chart and build another. In my new chart, I only want to include certain information, so I'm going to highlight all of the last names. I also want to highlight the information for 40-meter dash and strength rating. I'm going to hold down my Control key and then select these 2 columns. Your Control key allows you to select different areas within your spreadsheet at one time. I'll then go up to Insert, select Chart, and once again I'll use a column chart. I'll choose Next. Step 2 shows me which parts of my spreadsheet have been selected. You'll see that those are still the same areas that I selected before. Click Next. I'll put in a title, do my axis, grid lines, and other information. Next, I'd like this as an object in Sheet 1. I'll click Finish, and now you'll still notice that the graph is rather small. By selecting the chart and then dragging one of the corners, I can make it larger. If this chart or the graph itself is not large enough, I can click on the background, pull it up, and it'll be much easier to read the information. Any items inside of this chart can be moved around, so we'll select the legend, move it down here, go back and select the background of my chart, move it to where I want it. Now, each of these values is too large. I'll double click on one of them, go to Font, and select a smaller font size. The The last names are too large also. I'll double click on them, choose a smaller font, and select OK. By double-clicking on any item, I can go back and change its features. For instance, if I don't like the title I have, I can double-click on it, put it in italics, change the font, click OK, and it will show back up. Or I can simply click on it once and add more text to it. Also within one of the charts, we can change the colors. If I right-click on the background and go to Format Plot Area, I can choose a new color for my background. I'll choose yellow, click OK. If I want to choose a different color for each of the columns, I can do that too. Right-click on a column, choose Format Data Series, and I'll choose green. And we'll leave the other one as purple. A nice little feature you can do for someone who comes in and looks at your information is if you select 40-yard dash, you'll notice it's in green here on my chart. So maybe I'd like the same information within my spreadsheet to also have a green background. And then maybe I'd like the same purple background for the strength. Another feature you should also notice is that when I change information within my spreadsheet, it will also change within the chart. For instance, for Dorothy Pickles, if I change her 40-meter dash from 7.8 seconds to 6.6 seconds, in Dorothy Pickles right here, when I hit enter, you will notice that the column adjusts. If I alphabetically sort my names, the information on the chart will adjust. You can add as many charts to a spreadsheet as you like. Please watch carefully as I go through and create another chart for the height and weight for each of these people.